Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, and today I would like to bring forward the month of July Oracle and Tarot reading for the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. These readings are very general to the water element. And if you have had your charts done, your birth charts done, there's a section in there that talks about your elemental alignment, and this energy is what is going to be there. So if you're very high in water, which would be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, those messages from Source and the guides are what is going to help support you. And if your water is low, that could work with the challenges that will come up for each week. So the month of July has 2 days in 1 week, so I will be starting this reading for the 3rd of July on, which works out to being 4 weeks in July. And if you're interested in any of the card decks that I am using, they are listed in the description below. If you like this reading, give it a like and subscribe, and if you have any suggestions, comments, or otherwise, you can leave those in the comments section below. And on that note, let's dive right into the first week of July and the guide that goes with it for water signs for July of 2022. So I read intuitively, so the message that I bring forward may not be the same that's the definition on the card. So your guide for this first week of July for the water signs 2022 is Ascended Master Helios, and the stone is citrine. Your time to shine. I accept life's loving invitation to shine with a cosmic and soul-felt yes. My inner light is powerful enough to contribute healing radiance, peace, and higher understanding to this world. I am brave and bright. I support and surrender. I have the power of love and light within me. I give myself permission to delight and rest in the luminous sanctuary of my divine connection. I am the light. So your guide is Ascended Master Helios. This is a guide that is very closely tied to the sun, and the stone citrine, which is a very, very vibrant yellow gold, sometimes is into the lighter oranges stone, and this is also associated with the sun. So your guide this first week is really trying to help you and encourage you to tap into your inner fire nature, which in reality is the opposite of most water signs, but it's a good way to help bring yourself forward and be willing to step out into the light. Water signs tend to be more supportive and behind the scenes, and what this card is saying is, nope, it's time to step up. If there's something you've been wanting to do and bring forward, this is the time to do it. You are supported by the divine for this first week. Going along with that, your message from Source is patience. So even though it's something that you've been working on and you really want to bring forward, being willing to step up and be like, this is what I'm working on, but have the patience to know that it's going to take a little bit of time. And what Source is saying is that time actually serves you, and that showing patience and not just expecting instant results is a way of learning and tapping into that divine energy of going with the flow, which is a really big theme for water signs. We tend to flow around things. We tend to move in and out of situations pretty easily in most cases. And what this one is saying is have patience. Let it dam up for a little bit so when it breaks through, it really comes through. So your challenge or lesson is from the Fairy Tarot, and it is the 3 of Spring. Planning your next steps with an eye to the long term. Have patience. There are more good things to come. Satisfaction from a job well done. So what this card is saying, what the challenge is for this first week of July, is the water tends to be the least organized of what I've seen of the 4 elements, and so it tends just to flow and fill whatever's around it. And what this card is saying is really work on planning your next steps, really bring that into a focused alignment. If you have friends who are earth signs especially, which are friends of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, really reach out to them to help them, because they like to build lists, they like to find balance, they like to plan for the long term. So if you have the access to people who are like that, the future planners and the things, people who are willing to build foundations and build upon them, that's what you're looking for in this first week, and that could be a little bit of a challenge for water signs. So let's look at your second week guide energy for water signs, July of 2022. So it's Goddess Rhiannon and Amazonite. This is in the Integrity card. I listen deeply for the truth of my heart. I create harmony between my intentions, my words, and my actions. I make promises that honor my soul. Based on the wisdom of my heart, I make decisions with courage and boldness. I act with respect for a spiritual wisdom. I recognize the power within me, which I surrendered into inspired service for the greater good. I have the strength of character I need to live in integrity with my own heart. I emanate peace and grace. And so your guide for this first week, and if you have the opportunity to carry a piece of Amazonite, it's really a beautiful stone. It's a bluish green, more of a teal color, but it's just, there's a luster to it that's really impressed, that I really like. And being integrity, this first week is, because water tends to shapeshift, this is saying, be true to who you are. Don't just move to fit an environment. Integrity is doing the right thing when no one is looking. And what this the second week is all about is really learning how to stand in your own power and in your own mind and your own thoughts, and not to be swayed by the waves and the pushes and pulls of the world around you. So this second week is really about standing in your power. The first week is about getting that fire going, but the second week is, now that it's going, don't drown it. So your message from Source is sensitivity. And this comes from the Gratitude Oracle. And what it's saying is, water tends to be hypersensitive, and this is actually a good thing. We tend to either be able to manipulate other people's emotions, work with our own, and we also know how to build our emotional states up, whether it be joy, sadness, depression. If it's going to be an emotion, we're going to feel it deeper as a water sign than the other signs. It's just the nature of who we are. And what this is saying is, be okay when those upheavals come, or those emotions swing back and forth like a pendulum. But it's all about being okay and being sensitive. And sometimes that sensitivity works with dealing with other people's emotions. And what Source is trying to say, and I am not coming clear with this, is be okay and be accepting of those emotions, and feel compassion for people who are going through that really emotional time period. So the first part of the week is, or the first week is all about building your inner fire and finding that patience to keep going. The second week is Amazonite, and it's being integrity, being honest, upfront at all times, and in doing so you're going to feel more sensitive about certain subjects, and that's okay. So your challenge for this second week of July is a life lesson card. It is the 8 in the Major Arcana. It's the Justice card. Take the time to review the details carefully. You will win in the end. Fair and objective decisions. Where water signs tend to be very emotional, and they have a lot of reactions by their emotions, because that's just, again, the nature of water. This card is saying, that's great, that's fine, but it's time to really bring in some logic and some focus, which is not always a strong point with water. Not saying that it can't be done, just not a strong point. And so really tapping into that logic and reason is going to be the challenge for this second week of July. So the third week of July is the Goddess Kali and Black Obsidian, the Sacred Revolution. I release allegiances to the old cycles, opening my soul to the birthing process of the Divine Mother, who guides me into the highest fulfillment of my potential. An entirely new order is being established in respect of this greater unfolding of power. I am willing to be moved, inspired, and guided to embrace new approaches and responsibilities. I possess the courage required for change. I trust the universe loves me, and I let it grow. Sorry. So the goddess Kali is actually a very unique goddess. She's a triple goddess. She is the goddess of change and transformation, a little bit of chaos there. She's the guardian of children, but she's also the warrior and a mother. And so having her show up generally means that things are about to get really real really fast. Using obsidian as the stone for this third week is a way to stay grounded in the chaos that may be ensuing. And when Goddess Kali shows up, it's generally to shake things up, break the status quo, and rearrange life because it's not been working for you. And usually in her her aspect, when she shows up, it is to bring a little bit of chaos because either you weren't willing to step forward and clear that out, or it was something was holding you back that may be a completely subconscious pattern you didn't even realize in a conscious way. She'll show up and definitely rock the boat and get you to start clearing the stuff that's not working. And by doing that, you actually step into the higher aspect of who you are. When you have total chaos in your life, it's a spiritual time to figure out what works, what doesn't work, what do I need, what don't I need, clear out the stuff that's not working and you don't need anymore, because when you free yourself from that, it actually elevates you. And so using obsidian as a way to help ground that chaotic energy is a good balancing guide for this third week. And your message from Source is the unexpected. And this really goes back to this chaos part where having things change, and that's not always an easy thing for some of us, and that change is actually a healing thing though. So when you have the changes and you have that upheaval, it's actually showing you you can be a better person. You can do something different and be in a better state. And what the message from Source is, don't always expect things. Don't always plan. Don't always just go with the flow. Kind of look for the unexpected. Want the unexpected. Set your plans and put things in motion, but be excited when something different comes in. That little bump to the side, you had your plan right here and it got bumped over here. Well, when it's over here, it actually leads you into something even more impressive or more interesting, and usually it works out for the better. So you've got Kali coming in, stirring up a little bit of chaos, and you have Obsidian helping to ground it, but then it's also that be okay with the unexpected and be willing to accept the joyous chaos that's about to be coming around. Again, that's not a guarantee, that's just what the energy is coming up at the moment. So the third week of July, your challenge or lesson is the King of Autumn. Compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and gifted. Be assertive when it comes to what you know is right. Everything is going your way and a good person or company to work for. So the challenge this third week looks like being willing to stand for what's right, which ties into the citrine and the Amazonite from the first 2 weeks, which is building that fire and being more showing your integrity. And this week is all about being willing to be assertive. You know something is right, you know something is wrong. Water tends to just want to flow around a problem. They don't want to deal with it. It's not good or bad, just what it is. And what this is saying, the challenge is really going to be show your assertion. Step up and say, this is wrong, this can't happen, or step up and say, this is how we're going to do this. It's really the challenge to step forward and shine in your own light is the challenge for this third week. So let's look at the fourth week's guide and stone for July of 2022 and water signs. We have the Ascended Master Lao Tzu and Zinsite. Haven't heard of that stone. It's descending power. The drive to manifest my spiritual light is powerful and purposeful. Divine light is awakening in my body now. The creative fire on my soul shines into this world, bringing light and warmth to all hearts. I choose to live in my soul wisdom in simple, practical ways. I utilize my intentions to become grounded and present, increasing my inner radiance. I apply my spiritual principles to all aspects of my life, and my soul aspirations are realized. So your guides really this month have been supportive. You've got Citrine coming in saying, build that fire, get going. You have Amazonite saying, show your integrity, be honest with what you're doing. You have Kali and Obsidian coming in saying, let's shake things up, be ready and be grounded. And with this one, it's really about the spiritual lessons that you have learned over the course of your life and even this month. And it's a way to really step into that connection to God source energy, building that warmth, that radiant light, because water tends to be cold and damp. And so when you're talking building this up, you're actually healing. Warm water is what heals the body in a lot of ways. And what this card is saying is be that warm, comforting embrace, be that radiant, gentle energy to heal the people around you and to radiate out that you do have a spiritual practice. You are a being of light and love, and it's a time for you to really step into that and embrace it as a divine child of the Creator. So let's look at your message from Source. It is merriment. And what that says, you're building that warmth and that compassion this 4th week of July. And what Source is wanting to say is when you're building that joy, you're building that compassion, you're building that healing energy, it tends to lead towards this unquenchable joy, this joy of just living. And that's that merriment, that playful childlike aspect, and really working with your inner child to build that playful part of living in the now moment, not worrying about the past, not having anxiety about the future, but just being here and now and really embracing this now moment brings that joy and merriment. And so the message is really all about finding that inner child's light and aspect and tap into that energy for this 4th week. So your challenge or your lesson for the 4th week is the 2 of Autumn, bringing fun into everything you do, juggling multiple priorities or jobs, an exceptional talent for multitasking. So it looks like this tapping into your inner child might be a little bit of a challenge for this 4th week, because you've worked through some heavy energies through this month, and being a water sign, you're a little bit more sensitive to those things than a lot of the other signs. And what this is saying is it's okay to enjoy those simple things. It's okay to tap into that inner child. And multitasking is not always a bad thing. It can become an overwhelming situation, and if it does, just pare it back. But working on more than one project is not going to be a damage unless you take on too much and it spreads your energy too thin. And that's what this message is about, is not spreading yourself too thin on this last week. So let's look at the overall theme for the month of July, the guide and stone for the month of July 2022 for water signs. Apparently it's going to be a good one because the deck is just not wanting to talk to me right now. And this is the overall theme is all about what is happening around you, within you, without you, but it's for the entire month of July. And we have the angel Uziel and smoky quartz for the month of July, the whole month. I am powerful and gentle. I express my strength and my kindness and grace. I give myself the space I need to choose how I wish to respond to others. My energy field attracts spiritual light, which I share with others through goodwill, encouragement, and prayers for the greatest good for all beings. I walk through this world with love and awareness, gratitude, and grace. I am merciful towards myself and others and rely upon compassionate wisdom to guide me from within. So the entire month is kind of working with this energy of really being compassionate, really developing your spiritual gifts, which are compassionate, love, and being rather sensitive to emotional energies. And this is really saying that what could be a challenge to you is actually a gift from the divine to help others see the better in the world and in themselves. And smoky quartz is really a gentle stone. It's a way of, in a lot of ways, it's a gentle grounding stone. It helps clear out some of the heavier stuff, but it's also it's a good way to do a little bit of reflection. It's not like obsidian where it's almost a mirror at times. This is more of just gently look at the things that are there. So your message from Source for the entire month of July is imagination. which really does kind of sum up the entirety of the messages from Source for this month of July for water signs, because it's all about developing that sensitivity. You're working with your patience and the unexpected, and what that does is really build your imagination, and building your imagination is a way to start building your skills in visualization. It's also a way to create more positive aspects in the way you think. So when you go down those dark paths, which may or may not happen for you, and I understand that, but when you go that direction, if you have a really vivid imagination, it can pull you back by focusing on creating something better. And so the theme of this month from Source is use your imagination to create the life that you want on a higher plane, and then bring it in so that you can manifest it in the world. Your challenge or lesson is a life lesson card. It's the 19 card in the Major Arcana, which is the Sun. Plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards and accommodations, gratitudes for the blessings of life. And so what that card is saying is, through everything that's going on, the Sun tends to be a really dominant element of this month for you water signs, and so going outside and spending time in the sunlight, touching some grass and grounding is the lesson that you need to work on for this month. Getting outside, getting out of your head basically, and grounding yourself by touching bare earth with your feet, feeling the sun upon your face, especially your face, and being willing to accept the things that are coming into your life. If you have a more of a pessimistic bent, what this is saying is the good things that are coming are supposed to be there, so don't push them away, bring them in. And if you're on the more optimistic side, it's saying expect them so that it can show up in a more positive way for you. So, if this reading resonated with you, that's awesome. Take the parts that work and discard the rest. And if you like this, go ahead and like the video and subscribe. And if you have any comments, just leave them below. All I ask is that you be respectful, and I will talk to you in a future video.